Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has definitely been a long time since I've consistently made videos, but exams are over now. But I thought I would share with you today what's in my travel makeup bag. Or bags, because this is where my makeup is and these are where my brushes are. I was going to film this video when I was in Manila because why not? That is when I am traveling. But there was no time. I was too busy enjoying spending time with family. Also, we went to my mom's hometown and there was no window in the hotel room that we were staying at, so could not get that proper natural lighting to film this video basically. I thought I would still film it anyway because I'm traveling soon to go back to Dubai since uni is pretty much over for me. If I am going on a holiday for a week, this is pretty much what I would bring. If you want to find out what is in my travel makeup bag, then keep on watching. Okay, so to start off with the makeup products. This is I think this is a medium-sized travel bag thing from Muji. But the reason why I love this makeup bag is because even though it is plain and it definitely fits into my black and white wardrobe, as you can see here, it is sturdy, so I pretty much don't have to worry about anything in this bag being crushed. It has all these pockets and things, obviously the main space where I keep all my makeup products just jumbled together. Starting with the top, this is where I like to keep my lipsticks. I imagine that this is where some people would keep their brushes, but to be honest, I have too many brushes that I bring with me, so that is why it has its own separate case. The lipsticks that I have here are the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte lipsticks. I think one is in the shade Girlfriend, the other is in my staple shade Bombshell, because you never, I mean, it is a staple shade, you've got to bring it around with you everywhere. And I also have some Kat Von D Lolita 2 and Too Faced Melted Matte lipstick. But the reason why I have a variety, why can't I say that? The reason why I have a variety at the moment is because the last time that I properly traveled on a holiday, not just back to Dubai, was for my aunt's wedding. As you are a bridesmaid or if you are a wedding guest even, you want to make sure that you have a variety of makeup for such a special occasion. And now on to the main part of the makeup bag, just trying to show you that before it all comes spilling out. Okay, so to start off with this funky looking orange egg case thing, this is by Real Techniques and this is where I keep my beauty blender in. Now beforehand I used to keep my beauty blender in the case that it came in, and the reason why I stopped using that is because the case that it comes in is too small, and you know, when you dampen your beauty blender it increases in size, and after a while when you keep dampening it and then putting it back in the case and then putting it back in your travel makeup bag where it is dark because you obviously close it at times, bacteria and mold starts to grow. And unfortunately I learned this the hard way, but that's what happened to me, and this is why I have decided to use an actual case. It is a bit bulky, but there are holes where the beauty blender can breathe and no bacteria can come in and make this funky smelling, and yeah, it's more hygienic anyway. The next thing that I have in my travel makeup bag is this Sephora case. This is where I keep my eyelashes in. I don't bring a lot of eyelashes with me when I go traveling. I usually tend to wear these that I've got on at the moment as they are natural, but at the same time they emphasize my eyes. For a wedding, or if there's going to be a special occasion, a special night out where everyone dresses up, then I'll usually tend to bring another pair that is more suitable for the occasion. But yes, this is where I keep my eyelashes so they do not crush when I'm traveling. The next thing that I have is blush. This is the MAC Sheer Tone Blush in the shade Peaches. I usually tend to only bring one blush because I'm not a huge blush fan, as I've said so many times. This is pretty much a blush that I feel like goes with every makeup look. I also bring a highlighter with me, And the highlighter that I love the most, I feel like, is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill. I feel like because it is a gold highlighter, you know how much I love gold, I feel like it can go with any makeup look, which is why I carry this bad boy around with me at all times. The next thing, of course, it is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in the shade Translucent. I love this powder when it comes to setting my face, setting my eyes when I decide not to put any eyeshadow on. Yeah, it does the job and it is a good powder. To set my under eyes is another powder. Yes, I bring two powders with me. This is the Too Faced Born This Way powder, and I feel like this is the best powder when you are traveling. And the reason for this, now this probably means nothing to you, but when you're traveling it is very handy. So let's just say you check in your makeup or you put it in the overhead cabin. Sometimes there's going to be turbulence and that means your makeup is going to shake about. Now if you do not have this, that means your powder is going to go everywhere. Not necessarily in your makeup bag and the bag that it's in, I'm assuming, but it's going to go everywhere in the case that it's in. I definitely found out again the hard way with my Kat Von D setting powder. It just went everywhere and I couldn't obviously sift it back in. So I find that this is definitely an essential when I'm traveling to avoid any inconveniences once I arrive, once I land. The next thing is a primer. Sometimes I like to bring one or two primers depending on how I feel. But yeah, the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. I love this. It works, it smells nice, and it definitely makes my foundation stay on even during the winter or the summer, whichever place I'm going to. The next thing that I have is a Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I definitely needed this for a wedding, during the ceremony, and after in the reception, just to make sure that my makeup stays on for as long as it can. Also, I like to take this with me when I'm traveling to places with a hotter climate because, you know, you can sweat and I don't want my makeup to melt off, and that's where the setting spray comes in handy. Also, it comes in handy when it comes to eyeshadow and I want to make my eyeshadow just pop a little bit more. So yeah, double purpose. The next thing, of course, is an eyeshadow primer potion. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory. If I want to make sure my eyeshadow stays on for as long as it can, use a primer potion. So next thing is the Shu Uemura eyelash curler. Pretty much self-explanatory again. It curls my lashes. I can put mascara on and then my lashes on. Yeah, you get the drill. I know the writing has completely gone off, but it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and the purpose of this is to make sure that my eyebrows stay in place, they don't fuff about. And yeah, it is quite a bulky tube. I know they have smaller tubes. And of course, to come with the eyelash curler is the Too Faced Better Than Love mascara. I love using this mascara. It is also waterproof, so again, when I go to hotter places and I sweat, at least my mascara will stay in place. But yes, it is also very small. Did I already mention that? I say this after showing you my bulky eyebrow gel. Next is my eyeliner. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Eyeliner. I have not used any eyeliner since. The reason for this is because the point is so sharp. I think it's called the nib. It is the nib, right? This is very useful for me when I want to get a thin, natural line, and I don't necessarily want to go for that thick wing liner look. The next thing is foundation. So I have got two foundations with me. One is the Huda Beauty foundation. I love this so much when it comes to high coverage looks. I used this on the day of my aunt's wedding. I was a bridesmaid, so I wanted to make sure that I looked my best for the wedding and the reception. And it was raining on the day my aunt got married, just a light drizzle, but I was out there for like 5 minutes while this was happening, and my foundation stayed in place, thanks to Huda Beauty. Yes, and this is in the shade Amaretti. Coverage is great. It lasts really well and I look really nice with it on. The next thing is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I use this when I want to go for a somewhat lighter feel on my face. I still want a good amount of coverage, but I don't want to feel like I've got a lot of makeup on. The next thing that I have is bronzer, and this is the NARS Laguna bronzer, which I have been loving recently. But yes, this is the bronzer, and it comes with a mirror, which is handy when you don't have a mirror on the wall or a mirror like this around. I feel like this bronzer is really great when it comes to sculpting out those cheekbones, but also achieving that tan look. It is very pigmented in my opinion. It is also thin, so it pretty much just slots in there, doesn't take up much room, which is great. I feel like I keep using the same adjectives in this travel makeup bag review, show and tell, something like that. A Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 brush. I think it is number 12. This is what I use for my eyebrows. This is the brush that I use to apply the pomade. This is the spoolie that I use to brush out my eyebrow hairs. That's pretty much it. And accompanying the eyebrow brush, I nearly said eyeshadow there, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. It is so small, so again, non-intrusive. It is in the shade dark brown, and it has taken me a long while to finish it. I think I've only managed to hit halfway, and I've had this for like 2 years now. I love this so much. I use this all the time. Now for concealers, I brought 2 concealers with me to the Philippines. The reason for this is because sometimes I like to mix it up a bit. If I want to go for a more subtle look, not necessarily a bright under eye look, I'll go for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It still brightens up my under eye look to an extent that I don't look tired. But yes, if I want to look more perky eyed, I guess, more awake, then I will use the Wake Me Up concealer by Rimmel in the shade Ivory. Now for the eyelash glue, I like to bring my Eyelure Lash Clear Finish Strip Lash Adhesive. Yes, I didn't know why I had to say the whole name. The reason why I like using this as opposed to this little itty bitty one, size comparison, is because I feel like a giant when I use this. I feel like it's so much harder for me to apply the eyelash glue. It is really uncomfortable for me, whereas with this, my fingers just basically have more room to hold the tube basically and apply the eyelash glue. It does the job of keeping my lashes in place. And the thing that I like about this, as opposed to other eyelash glues like the Duo eyelash glue, I believe, in the black finish, is that I can remove the eyelash glue at the end of the day or the next day before I, reapply it again. Now the last thing in the travel makeup bag, at least, is eyeshadow. And this is the eyeshadow palette that I love to bring with me, not only because it pretty much fits in that space, but because it has all the eyeshadows that I pretty much ever use. Now, if you know me, I love using gold eyeshadow, so whenever I go traveling and I just want a normal, natural eyeshadow look, I tend to stick to this side of the palette, right here. But if, obviously, I want to have the option of a more glammed up look, a more different look basically that is not just gold, I have the option of going to this side of the palette, which is great. And it also comes with a mirror. Again, you can never go wrong with a mirror. Oh, and I cannot forget the side pockets that we've got here. There's a top pocket that has nothing in it, but the side pocket has, if I can take it out, tweezers, because we definitely need tweezers when it comes to plucking out eyebrow hairs or putting on lashes. I used to be that person that used to apply eyelashes with the fingers, but ever since I started putting acrylics on, even though I don't have any at the moment, I've gotten used to applying eyelashes with tweezers. Very handy. These are by Tweezerman, by the way. rose gold, even though you can't really tell because the gold has faded. Now it is time for the brushes. Yes, I do have a separate case for my brushes because I am that extra, I am that person. This is where I keep my eyeshadow. This is where I keep my brushes. Brushes aren't just for eyeshadows, Erica. But yes, this is by Morphe. As you can see, it is snake skin, I think. The reason why I love this is because it is sturdy, so I can make sure that my brushes will not basically get damaged, get squashed when it is traveling with me. For my aunt's wedding though, I did bring this humongous tub, but that is only when I'm bringing pretty much all of my brushes. Now to quickly go through the brushes because the battery is blinking, I bring a powder brush. This is to set the powder on my face. This is the Spectrum A01 brush. Love this, applies powder really well. Next thing that I have is another powder brush, but this one is much smaller and it is for applying powder onto my eyelids to set concealer or primer potion or foundation onto my eyelids to make sure that it doesn't budge. But yeah, and this is the Spectrum B02 brush. I have designated foundation brushes for each foundation. This one I use for my Huda Beauty foundation. This is the 104 Zoeva Buffer brush. And the other one is the Fenty Beauty brush, the foundation brush. My bronzer and blusher brush. This is the Morphe R4 brush. I think the angle of this makes it perfect to sculpt out those cheekbones and really get that defined look. And for the blush brush, I feel like it is so easy to get that subtle blush highlighter brush. Cannot go wrong with this. It is the Zoeva 105 Luxe Highlight Brush. It has a tapered point. I think that's what it's called, a tapered point. It is perfect for gliding onto the tops of cheekbones, applying that highlighter especially down the bridge of the nose and on the tip. If I'm just going for one or two eyeshadow looks, I will bring one or two shader brushes. This is the Zoeva 232 Luxe Classic Shader Brush. I only need one brush for the transition shade because I only use one transition shade pretty much. And this is the Morphe R37, great brush for transition shades. For the crease, sometimes I like to mix up my crease shades depending on how I feel. I'll generally bring 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 if I'm pushing it, crease brushes, and these are both the Morphe M518. And last but not least, the Morphe M433 brush. This is what I like to use for the shades and the corners of my eyes to get that well-rounded eyeshadow look. And I don't know why I said last but not least, because this is last but not least. Pencil brush. I very much forget about this brush sometimes, and I do not put any eyeshadow on my lash line. But when I do remember, this is the brush that I use. This is the Morphe R41 brush. Great pencil brush to use when it comes to applying eyeshadow onto the lash line. And that is pretty much my brushes complete. And that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if this was so rushed, but I need to meet a friend and I am pushing it. Pretty much what I have in my travel makeup bag and brush case, I guess you can say. Travel brush case. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future. And I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.